This podcast is part of the National Archives War on Film series, marking the 70th anniversary of the start of the Second World War. Download more podcasts at nationalarchives.gov.uk.
Dambusters Story is probably one of the most famous instances in the Second World War that was turned into a film. The idea behind the raid was to destroy dams in the Ruhr part of Germany, which held back vast quantities of water that were used in the Germans' arms industry.
The subject is the attacks of dams in enemy countries. These are of varying importance, the principal being the Möhne Dam in the Ruhr, and this department has given a great deal of study to their destruction. The destruction of the Möhne Dam would flood the Ruhr Valley and disorganise its industry. It is probably very heavily defended, so it is desirable to attack it from a distance and from a height. By the scheme proposed, this is possible, namely by the combination of gliding weapon attack and high explosive capacity self-propelled waterborne torpedoes, or skimmers, which weapons are under active development by the Navy and have reached the stage of full-size trials.
Barnes Wallis, the designer of the Vickers Wellington, spent many hours of his working day deciding on ideas, coming up with concepts relating to how they could take the war to Germany and attack different sorts of target. The bouncing bomb, what was known as upkeep, was top secret. A cylindrical device of about £6,500 dropped from a Lancaster bomber at a given height and a given speed. In order to carry out the raid, the Royal Air Force created a new squadron, 617 Squadron, led by Guy Gibson. Gibson was able to cherry pick from the crews in Bomber Command, taking people that he'd served with in 106 Squadron or from people he knew about, so that he could form an elite. The squadron, with only Gibson really knowing the true target and what they were going to do, honed their skills doing lots of low-level and night flying, in many cases around the areas of the Peak District in Derbyshire. Eventually, with the weapon created into the form that Wallis was happy with, they launched Operation Chastise, the attack on the dams. On the 16th to 17th of May 1943, the raid took place.
A special operation for which this squadron had been training so hard was carried out. The target was the three great German dams, the Eder, the Möhne and the Sorpe. 19 aircraft took off to attack the target, and of these, 8 failed to return. The attack was an outstanding success in spite of these losses, and the Eder and the Möhne dams were definitely breached, and the Sorpe damaged.
In the night of May the 16th and 17th, an air raid warning was sounded at 0:23 hours. At about 0:30 hours, Möhne Dam, which was protected by 6 anti-aircraft guns, was attacked by enemy aircraft with large caliber bombs. The attack was carried out from a very low level. A number of bombs fell into the reservoir immediately in front of the dam, thereby weakening the structure and probably causing a number of fissures. An immense flood wave poured through the dam into the Möhne and Ruhr valleys, carrying about 6,000 cubic metres of water at a height of 8 metres.
Although the dams raid may have been seen as a marvellous publicity for the RAF and taking its war to Germany, the costs in the number of lives lost was seen as being too many, especially by Barnes Wallis. Recent research has shown that Bomber Harris, the chief of Bomber Command, didn't think much of the dams raid, and he didn't think that for the cost of the people, the time and the resources, that it was worth the effort. To get an idea of the original ideas behind the dams raid, visit the National Archives and look at some of the key records, or look further into our website.
This podcast includes images and extracts taken from records at the National Archives and is copyright of the Crown.